I want you to try to remember the first time you were physically lost as a little kid. And I'm going to tell you my story. I was with my mom grocery shopping in the same grocery store that I've been to 100 times with her. I was getting to an age where she wanted me to gain some independence. She felt comfortable enough that she let me go and get the favorite snack of my choice. And of course, that was always cosmic brownies. I was so ecstatic when we were going to the grocery store that day that I was finally going to have some freedom. So I get there, she gets the cart, and then I take off for the aisle. Although I've been to that grocery store a lot with her, and I know she picks out the cosmic brownies just for me, I still had a tough time trying to find where that aisle was. Finally, I get there, and I feel this sense of accomplishment. I grab the box, and I feel so empowered. I feel like I'm finally a grown-up. I'm a big boy. And then comes the grim reality of, well, I don't know where my mom's at. And then the wave of negative emotion just floods my brain. What if I don't find her? What if I don't find my way? What if a stranger comes and gets me? All these negative thoughts were coming into my head. I start walking around, definitely looking lost, definitely looking afraid. But finally, I find her at the cheese aisle. I don't know why that's the detail that sticks in my head, but it does. And I remember that sense of calm. I remember that sense of being grounded once again. Like, hey, it's all right. I'm back to being me. Because in that moment of being lost, I don't know where I was, and I kind of forgot who I was. And I know all of us have been in a moment just like that. Not knowing who we are, not knowing where we are, and not knowing what's coming up next. I think life is dealing with that emotion, not knowing what's coming next, and being okay with that. But nonetheless, it's still a struggle. There are times where I felt lost in high school and in college, and right now I think it's one of the more important times in my life where I feel lost. However, the hobby of video games and some of the experiences I've had recently have been really reinforcing this idea in my head that sometimes being lost is exactly what we need. Sometimes being lost is where we need to be. But before I keep talking about why I think that's the case, hi, I'm guhmmie. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. I'm really glad you're here. I created this channel more as a video journal for myself to discuss the personal issues that I'm going through while connecting it to my favorite hobby, video games, and all the life lessons that this hobby is giving me. So if that's something you're interested in, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more. I would really appreciate it. And I want to ask you this question. Where in your life have you felt lost? I know that's a vulnerable question, but I would really appreciate reading your comment as it may help me and all the others that read it. I promise you there are a lot of people that would probably resonate with what you have to say. So if you're comfortable enough, leave a comment down below. I hope to give you some ideas and thoughts to chew on by the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Now, back to business. While we all might have been lost in a grocery store once or twice, I think most of us are at an age where we feel lost in our identity. We feel lost in our emotions. We just might feel lost in life in general. You might have a job, you might have a spouse, you might have that purpose and career path, but I still think there's always going to be a slice of us that really don't know where we fit into this puzzle. And I'm right there with you. I just want you to know that. But I want to talk about why we might feel this way. First off, I think it's society's pressure. Our society has always had a map. You go to school, you get out of school, you find a job, go to college, you get a house, start a family, so on and so forth. There's never been a direct timeline. You need to be this age by this checkpoint, but I feel we've all put that pressure on ourselves. If we're behind our friends and family, we're behind in life. And when we feel behind, we feel lost. We feel disconnected. We even further our feeling of being lost because we disconnect from our true selves. Instead of following our heart, instead of following what we enjoy, we tend to seek out, okay, I feel lost. I need to do what society tells me to do to get that feeling back. We are trying to connect to an anchor that's not connected to ourselves, thus furthering that feeling of uncertainty, furthering that feeling of like we don't belong. Because when we're younger, we don't feel mentally lost. Our days are pretty mapped out for us. We go to school, we play with our friends, we try to be nice to our teachers, we go home, summer happens, and then we repeat. There's no uncertainty really. It's pretty routine and it's pretty nailed down to us by the fact that we're 16, 17 years old. All right, we got it figured out. And we think life's gonna be this way. Then you get to the age I am, 27, you're like, wow, life doesn't work that way. Even though I'm a school teacher with a pretty similar schedule like I did back in the day, it is truly not the case. We're always feeling like we're in a transition period right before those big moments of our lives. But it doesn't have to be right before those big moments where we feel disconnected, where we feel like change is making us feel lost. Because honestly, and this is my favorite quote that my dad always told me, is that change is the only constant in life. We're always going to be changing. It's just to the varying degree of how we want to focus on it. How do we want to handle it? And how we should start to embrace it rather than letting it dictate our life. Because I've been struggling with that feeling of being lost. This has probably been one of the toughest years of my life, but also the most happiest times of my life. It's crazy that I can say that in the same sentence and be confident with both. I've been struggling with my job and the expectations that I put on myself and the pressure I might put on myself and all the other uncontrollable variables in my life that have really put me in this spot. And in struggling with my job, I'm struggling with my identity. And I'm struggling to see where it keeps going. I'm struggling to see how my life changes from here because I'm at a crossroads. But yesterday I played a game called Control. I'm Not Coming Back. It's a free game. You can play it in one sitting. I highly recommend it if you're someone in the same shoes as me right now. I will keep it spoiler free as much as possible, but I'm going to show some gameplay. So if you're interested, maybe just don't watch this part of the video. Just set it down and listen, because there's still a lot to be good to be said. I don't want to spoil the game for you. All I will say is I had tears in my eyes the entire time I was playing it because it was just so emotionally impactful. And one quote that really stuck with me was that storms feel different when you're stuck under them. And I sat there with that for a minute. Being lost is like a storm. You don't know when it's going to end. You don't know how beautiful it is on the other side. Because in that moment, it's raining, it's sleeting, life is hard, the wind is blowing. You don't know how you're going to make it out. But storms pass. And when you see life after the storm, you might be able to see that beautiful sunset. You might be able to see the green grass. You might appreciate those trees that you didn't before because, hey, they're standing still. These times in life, these moments in life, being lost makes us appreciate what is still found in our life, what we can still find. In this game, Control, I'm Not Coming Back has kind of taught me to look at things with a different light. Look at things with a different view. Just because you're lost right now doesn't mean you're going to be lost in a week or a month or a year. It's a storm, and it might be tough. And I know everyone's storm's going to be different, but I truly do believe in that big cliche, this too shall pass. This game really struck a chord with me because that's the whole premise, is the why we feel lost. How do we carry on? What's the point of carrying on? What's the point of feeling lost? Is there anything to take away from it? And without spoiling, once again, please go play that game because it is just a beautiful testament to our human ability to keep pushing on when it doesn't feel like anything is going to go our way. I think it just celebrates that about our DNA. And it reminded me that I've been lost before and I found my way out of that storm. And I'm going to continue to keep doing so. And we can all do that. We can continue to keep doing so. We can continue to push through that storm. Games are magical that way because I then realized that's why I love my playthrough of KCD2. I recently beat the main story. I'll keep coming in and out of side quests. I love that game so much. It's turned out to be a top 3 game of all time for me. But I think it showed why I loved being lost in that game. There was no hand holding. There were no moments of, okay, this is what you got to do. You kind of got to figure it out yourself. And it rewards you for finding that out. That feeling of, hey, I did this by myself. I got to this point. I embraced the struggle and I'm here. And I've enjoyed it more than ever. And that feeling of uncertainty in KCD2 is something I feel in my own life, or I should gamify in my own life. Okay, yeah, I'm lost right now. But how can I find things that make me feel that joy? That make me feel that that challenge was worth it, that make me feel accomplished? Instead of just sulking in this moment, what actions can I take to find myself again? What actions can I take to find an anchor to attach to that's also connected to me? What actions can I take to realize that this feeling of being lost is more of a moment of recalibration rather than a moment of being stuck in? And so embracing this feeling of being lost and kind of noticing that, hey, I've kind of liked that in my gaming experience lately, I started another run of Outer Wilds. I tried this game about 5 years ago and definitely was not in a good headspace to have that patience to play this game. But 2 hours in and I'm enjoying that feeling of, okay, I have no idea where to go. I have no idea really what's going on, but I'm going to chip away at it. I'm not going to solve it in one day. I'm not going to solve it in one action. It's just, hey, stacking those little wins. Okay, I go and find this scroll here. I find this puzzle piece here. I find this direction and this clue here. And slowly but surely, that picture is getting clearer. I'm still lost by all means, and I've heard nothing but great things of this game. But right now, I'm just not seeing it. And that's okay, because I know if I keep chipping away at this, things will turn out. Things will be okay. The storm will pass. I'll get through it. All in all, it just boggles my mind that video games have this power. I'm slowly learning that I feel lost because I'm changing, not because I'm a loser with no purpose, with no drive. 5 years ago, me could not deal with this emotional weight that I am feeling right now. 5 years ago, me would be crumbling at the seams. So when I look at it that way, maybe I've been lost this whole time, but I'm chipping through it. I'm getting through the storm. I'm changing, even if it isn't noticeable, and I'm improving, even if I can't see it. And I'm going to end this video with a quote from, once again, Control, I'm Not Coming Back. And it says, growth is still motion, even if it's quiet. So wherever you're at in life, no matter how big or small, you'll get through the storm. It may seem impossible right now. It may seem daunting, challenging, whatever it may be, but I'm right there with you, and we're going to get through it. Thank you so much for sticking around at this point in the video. You're a real one, and I do appreciate that. Because me, oh my, I've been an emotional son of a gun lately, but this platform really does give me an outlet to let my thoughts live outside of myself. And, you know, hopefully I look back a year now and said, wow, the storm did pass when I watched this video. So thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Hopefully there are some thoughts or ideas for you to chew on. If so, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more. It would really mean a lot to me if you did so. I also have started a community Discord. It's called Gummie's Garage. The door is always open for people that watch these videos. We love to talk about video games and life, and pretty much it's the same essence of this video, so we'd be more than happy to have you there. And I want to end this video with this question for you. How do you plan to find yourself in small ways? I'm not asking some big grand ideas or big grand treatments that you need to go through. I'm asking, what are some things you can do today that can help you find yourself? I'm curious to see what you have to say. I read all the comments, so if you're comfortable enough, please leave one down below. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.